Okay, this will be the first portion of Lab 2, AutoCAD Lab 2. And to start this part, we're going to start over in this center of these circles on the left-hand side that I'm showing here in this PDF file. So to do that, we're going to draw some circles. Bear with me 1 second while I change the grid. Turn that off. The circle command is right up here on the ribbon. It's the third one over. Now there are several different circles, and we'll talk about these in a separate video. But on this particular application, I'm going to draw this circle right here first, and actually it's going to end up being an arc, but I like to use the circle command to do these two arcs. And I know I know the radius, so I'll do the center and the radius. The first center wants to be at 0, 0. And then if you look down at the bottom, it asks for the radius. And that radius is 0.866. Enter. Now I want to hit enter again to repeat the command. And I just noticed that I didn't get 866 on my circle, so I'm gonna just go ahead and do the command again. 0, 0, 0.866. Enter. Enter repeats the command. I need to give the location for the second center, which is, according to the drawing, 1.102, 0. Enter. And then I can just hit enter again, because you notice down here at the bottom the 866 is given, so that it's going to do another circle of the same center. So there's my two circles. So that's this arc over here and this arc here. Now I'm going to draw a line between those two, and I can, if I hold the shift key and hit my right mouse button, I can get any of these different object snap points. So I might choose to go with a quadrant, and there are 4 quadrants on the circle, which correspond to the 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 180, and 270. So I'm going to go up here at 90, and then I can use that same quadrant, or I can use tangent if I choose to, and pick anywhere on this circle, and it'll snap to the tangent point of that circle. So, and I can hit enter to complete the command, and enter to restart the line command, and then I'll go tangent, and again I can go anywhere along this arc down on the lower half at this point. And then I want to shift, right click, tangent, and go here, enter. So that gives me the base for this, if you will, this big circular slot, if you will. Now I want to trim, and I just typed in TR, and I want to trim between this line and this line, enter. Trim out this part of that arc and that part of that circle, and we have the first bit of that right there. So now I guess the next thing I ought to do is probably hit save, and I want to save that as the video for this Lab 2. Okay, then the next thing I'm going to do is draw the inner part here, and I'm going to start by drawing a circle. Now, in this case, I know the circle's center and diameter. Now, I can go here and use this one. Or what you can do is note I'm going to snap to the center point. So I need to be out here. If I'm up here, I'm going to get the end point. But if I'm out in this area right here, you can't see it, but there it is. There's the center. Okay, now note down here at the bottom, I can change this to diameter. And it's 0.748, I believe, is the number on the diameter. I'll repeat the command. I'll come over here. Whoops, there's what I was telling you. You'll snap to the wrong position. Okay, and that actually has a radius of 0.472. Okay, so I got 2 more circles. Now what I need to do is draw lines, these lines off of the sides here. I need to draw those next. So I'm going to draw a line, and shift, right click, and I want to go to the quadrant of this line, Now here's a trick I didn't show you before, but if you go and turn on the ortho, now if I type in the value of that line and go to the right, realize I'm already telling it it's at 0 degrees, but if I type in the 0.551 that is asked for in the drawing, it automatically makes that line 0.551. Now, just for construction, if you will, I'm going to need a line that's straight down off of that. I'll hit enter, and that's done. I'll hit enter again to repeat the line command, and I want to go from the quadrant, and I want to go straight out, and I have no clue how long that line needs to be, so I'll just pick a spot. Oh, also note that I'm only going to draw these lines on the top because based on what we know now from our previous lab, we can just go in there and do a mirror, can't we, once we get all this created. So, excuse me. So now the next thing I need to do is put a fillet in there. That's why I needed this vertical line. I can't put that fillet between these two horizontal lines. People try that all the time, and you can put a fillet in there and it'll make a slot, but it will not be right. It has to be between the vertical line and the horizontal line. So we'll put in a fillet. Of course, the radius on that is 0.118. Notice my radius right now is 0. So I type in R for radius and hit enter. 0.118, enter. And it asks me to pick the two objects. So I pick this object, and I have to pick this side over here. Pick this side, it's going the wrong direction. Okay, that's the only reason I needed that line, so I'll just delete that line. Now, what we have to do is realize that there's an issue going on right here, that those two don't meet up. Now, realize we already talked about the fact that this line was the proper length as we had planned originally. So what we're going to do is we're going to trim to this line, enter, this line. Once we do that, then we can move this arc over. We have to trim it first. And again, to move that, I'm just going to click on the arc, get the grip, hit the space bar one time, and that changes it to move, and move it over, and you can see the discrepancy between the green square and the red. That means you've actually moved. I'll hit escape, and you can see up the top here now we actually have a gap in there, which makes sense. If you don't hit the space bar when you click on that grip, you are actually changing the arc's radius. So don't forget to hit the space bar so that you can move as opposed to stretch. Okay, so we moved it. Now we've got to go in here and fix this. Now you could do an extend and extend to this boundary, this line. However, all you need to do in this case is just get that grip and stretch it over to that end of that arc. Double click the middle mouse button. I can see everything. Of course, I'm going to hit the save button. Get used to hitting that save button. And now we talked about the fact that I could go in and mirror these three objects, enter, and all I need to do is snap to the center of that and the center of this, and hit enter, and it gives me all that. I am going to turn my ortho back off. I don't like to leave that on. So I'm going to trim now between these two lines, enter, this, repeat the command by hitting the space bar for enter. Between these two objects, I want to trim out this. And that's the first portion of this lab. Now, I'll continue on a little bit here. I want to go ahead and draw some more of this side over here. So to do that, I'm going to draw a circle again at the center of this, and its radius, I believe, is 1.26. Okay, and then I need to draw a line that goes tangent to this arc and tangent to that arc. So I'll draw a line, Shift, right click, tangent. Now that tangent only works for one click. Shift, right click, tangent again, right here. Now you could mirror that, but I think if I just hit enter to repeat the line command, shift, right click, tangent, I think this is easier. Shift, right click, tangent, and done. Then I'll trim again between this line and this line, enter, trim that part out. So we're getting pretty close here. So we'll save again. And I'm going to stop there, and we'll continue on in another video. I think it'd be best to break this up a little bit. So I want to stop right there, and we'll continue in the next video.